I used to think itching was no big deal. Dry skin, cold weather, or maybe just a new soap. But then I met George, 75 years old, and an itch on his shin led him straight to a blood cancer diagnosis, long before any other symptoms showed up. Do you have a spot on your body that just keeps itching, no matter what you do? No rash, no bumps, no clear reason. Maybe it's your body trying to say something. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 itchy spots the doctors warn not to ignore, and how to tell the difference between a harmless annoyance and the first whisper of something far more serious, even cancer. If you care about your health after 60, hit that subscribe button, because sometimes just one timely piece of information can save a life. And I truly believe if George had known this sooner, his story might have gone a very different way. The itchy spot that kept George up at night and nearly cost him his life. At first, George didn't think much of it. Just a mild itch on his lower leg. Nothing worth worrying about. But a few weeks later, that itch became persistent, more noticeable. Every night he found himself scratching the exact same spot, as if something beneath the skin refused to let go. He switched laundry detergents, changed soap, tried every moisturizing cream at the drugstore. Nothing worked. "I figured it was just dry skin," he told his daughter. "Getting old, you know. Small stuff." But that's the thing. After 60, our bodies stop sending obvious warning signs. Instead of pain or swelling, they whisper. Through fatigue, a strange sensation, or something as simple as an itch that just won't go away. What finally pushed George to take action wasn't the itch itself, but a growing sense that something wasn't right. He started losing weight, woke up drenched in sweat, felt exhausted all the time, even after sleeping through the night. Eventually, he went in for a checkup. Blood tests showed abnormal white cell levels. Scans later revealed swollen lymph nodes deep in his chest. Diagnosis: early-stage lymphoma. And that itch? It wasn't from outside the body. It was caused by inflammation triggered by cancer cells in the lymphatic system. That itch had been the body's warning signal, sent out for months. What struck me most was what George said afterward. "It wasn't the cancer that scared me. It was how close I came to ignoring the very first sign." Many of us are the same. We blame age, weather, or stress. And sometimes it is just that. But when something lingers, comes back night after night, always in the same spot, whispering with quiet persistence, it deserves to be heard. Especially when there's no rash, no dryness, and the itch gets worse after dark. George's story reminds us, staying healthy after 60 means learning to listen, not just to doctors, but to the faint signals from within. Because sometimes the body doesn't shout, it whispers. Have you ever experienced something like George did? Share your story in the comments below. And in the next part, we'll look at an even more overlooked spot, between the shoulder blades, where an itch may point to something deeper than skin. 2. The back itch, a dangerous sign linked to the pancreas. Have you ever had an itch on your back that kept you up at night? Many doctors say, when the pancreas speaks up, it's often too late. But for Linda, it chose a strange way to speak, through an itch on her back. Linda, 70, lived alone and kept herself healthy by walking every morning and eating well. But then, she began to feel an odd itch on her upper back, right between her shoulder blades. There was no rash, no redness. It wasn't her clothes or her bedding. What bothered her wasn't the itch itself. but how it felt like it was coming from inside. She tried everything, changing pajamas, switching mattresses, applying lotion, but the itch kept coming back every night in the same exact spot. It wasn't intense, but just enough to keep her from sleeping. Eventually, she went to the doctor, just because she'd been feeling unusually tired. Blood tests showed elevated liver enzymes. Her doctor ordered imaging, and then they found a small tumor in her pancreas, pressing on the bile duct. Linda didn't have abdominal pain. She didn't have jaundice. That itch on her back was the only sign. An itch that many people would have ignored. Maybe you've felt something like that too. An itch that feels deep, as if it's coming from somewhere inside your body. You think it's just aging, or the weather, or how you slept. But when it keeps returning, doesn't respond to lotion, and comes with fatigue, pay closer attention. Our bodies after 60 don't always speak clearly, but they always whisper something. If you've experienced something similar, or if you have a strange itch you can't explain, share your story in the comments. Your experience might help someone else who's quietly worried, but too afraid to speak up. And if you find this kind of content helpful, please hit the subscribe button. Sometimes the right story at the right time can change someone's entire path to better health. 3. Tingling scalp. Every afternoon, a silent blood warning. Blood cancer doesn't always begin with pain, swelling, or fatigue. Sometimes it starts with a faint tingling sensation right on the top of your head. Henry, 73, a retired history teacher, spent most of his days tending to his backyard garden. Recently, he began noticing a tingling sensation on his scalp every afternoon. No dandruff, no rash. It felt like something lightly crawling under the skin. Not painful, but just enough to be irritating. At first, he thought it was his hat being too tight. Then he changed shampoos. Eventually, he stopped wearing hats altogether. But the strange sensation didn't go away. It lingered, quietly but stubbornly. He didn't pay much attention, until one evening, standing in front of the mirror, he asked himself, "Why do I feel this way every single day?" That moment of reflection led him to see a doctor. A blood test revealed an unusually high white blood cell count. The final diagnosis, early-stage chronic leukemia. No other clear symptoms, no pain, no fever, no extreme fatigue. Just that odd, persistent tingling on the scalp every afternoon. That experience made Henry pause. He had spent his life teaching others how to read the signs of history, but nearly missed the one happening inside his own body. So if you feel tingling or itching on your scalp, with no dandruff, no visible rash, and especially if it feels like light buzzing, numbness, or pins and needles, don't brush it off. Talk to your doctor. A simple blood test could end up being the greatest gift you give yourself. And if Henry's story made you reflect, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Who knows? Your words might help someone else recognize what their body's been trying to say. 4. The itch beneath the bra. No cream could soothe it. Inflammatory breast cancer is a silent intruder. It doesn't form a lump. It doesn't cause pain. Instead, it leaves behind a sign so subtle it's often ignored. A light itch every day in the same exact spot. Let me tell you about Ruth, 69 years old, a meticulous woman. Every morning, she wore the same type and size of bra. She never used scented detergents. Nothing had changed in her daily routine. Yet, for nearly 2 months, she felt a mild itch just beneath her right breast every single day. no rash, no redness. She thought maybe the bra was too tight, so she changed it, then stopped wearing one altogether. But the spot kept itching, subtle but persistent. Something just didn't feel right. Eventually, she went to see her doctor. The doctor took a closer look at the skin and noticed a slight indentation, as if the skin was being pulled inward. Further tests revealed the truth. Inflammatory breast cancer, a rare type. No lump, no pain, only an itch and minor surface changes. Ruth never imagined that a simple itch could be the sign of something so serious. What makes her story especially important is this. Most of us, especially men, tend to ignore itching in the chest area. We don't think of it as something that could be cancer-related, but the truth is, both men and women have breast tissue, and both are at risk. If you've had an itch on your chest that just won't go away, even with no visible cause, listen closely. And if something feels off, don't hesitate to get checked. As Ruth said, I didn't go because I was afraid of illness. I went because I believed my body was trying to tell me something. Have you ever felt something similar? Please share your story in the comments below. And if you'd like to keep hearing real stories like this, don't forget to subscribe. Together, we're not just living longer, we're learning to live more aware. 5. Itching. Around the anus or genitals, the symptom nobody talks about. Cancers in intimate areas don't always start with lumps or sores. Sometimes, they begin with a stubborn itch in a place no one wants to talk about. Eugene, 76, was never one to complain. He spent most of his life as a mechanic, used to pain, used to pushing through. So when he started feeling itchy around his anus, he told no one. He quietly applied ointments, switched to softer toilet paper, and convinced himself it was just hemorrhoids. 6 months passed, then a year. The itch didn't go away. In fact, it grew more intense, burning and raw, especially at night. Eventually, it wasn't the pain that sent him to the doctor, but a growing sense that something's not right. A colorectal exam revealed a small lesion in his anal canal. A biopsy confirmed it, an early-stage tumor. It hadn't spread yet, but the doctor said, if you had waited just a few more months, this could have been a very different story. Eugene's experience is far from rare. Especially in older adults, the private parts of the body are sensitive, not just physically, but emotionally. Many people stay silent because they're embarrassed, because they think it's just aging, or because they don't want to burden their children. But the truth is, every part of your body deserves to be heard. If you feel itching, burning, or thinning skin in those areas, even if it's just on one side, even if there are no sores, get it checked. The sooner, the better. The lighter the burden. Have you ever kept quiet about a symptom out of embarrassment? If so, please consider sharing in the comments. Your courage might give someone else the strength to speak up. And if you find value in stories like this, don't forget to subscribe. Together, we'll continue learning how to listen to our bodies, gently, bravely, and with care. 6. Not every itch is dangerous, but some signs should never be ignored. After 60, our bodies don't scream like they used to. They whisper. And if you don't listen, you might miss the most important warning of your life. Many people ask, how can you tell the difference between a normal itch and one caused by something more serious? The answer isn't always clear, but one thing is certain. Your feeling always has a reason. If there's a patch of skin that keeps itching, With no rash, no improvement after switching soaps or moisturizers, and it lasts more than 2 weeks, it shouldn't be ignored, especially if it comes with fatigue, weight loss, night sweats, or just a lingering feeling that something isn't right. Our bodies after 60 may not react as quickly as before, but they still speak in their own way. Some feel a persistent itch in the legs. Others describe it like ants crawling across the scalp. Some experience a subtle, nagging itch on their upper back or chest with no clear cause. If it lingers, it matters. It's a small voice, but one worth hearing. What matters most isn't that you panic every time you itch, but that you don't ignore it. You have the right to ask your doctor questions. You have the right to get checked, and you deserve peace of mind knowing you didn't miss anything important. So if today you're feeling something strange, no matter how small, don't brush it off. Write it down, track it, and if needed, don't hesitate to seek medical advice. Because sometimes paying attention to something small is what helps you live longer and healthier. Have you ever had that gut feeling, knowing something wasn't right, even when you couldn't explain why? Tell us in the comments. Your story might help someone else feel less alone and a little braver. And if you're on this journey of staying in tune with your body, hit that subscribe button, because after 60, every healthy day is a gift, and we're here to cherish that gift together. Closing message. At this age, we've lived long enough to know our bodies no longer shout like they used to. They whisper. And often, those whispers, like a stubborn itch with no clear cause, or a strange sensation we can't quite name, are the ones we need to pay the most attention to. Not to be afraid, but to be prepared. Not to panic, but to live more fully, more intentionally every day we have left. What you've heard in today's video isn't just about illness. It's about love. The kind of love we give to our own bodies. We've spent a lifetime caring for others, our children, our partners, our work, our neighbors. But many of us have forgotten something simple: to listen to ourselves. If there's one lesson I hope you take away today, it's this. When you feel something is off, trust that feeling. Because after 60, nothing is more precious than peace of mind. And nothing brings that peace more than knowing you haven't ignored your body's gentle calls for attention. You don't have to change everything overnight, but you can start with one thing. Keep a note of unusual sensations. Ask your doctor if something doesn't feel right, and never dismiss an itch that lingers without a clear reason. You deserve your full care, especially from yourself. Let me end with a small but powerful question. Has your body ever tried to tell you something, but you only realized it when it was already too late? Share your story in the comments. I read every one, and I believe others will find courage in your voice. If today's video made you feel seen, supported, or inspired, please subscribe to the channel. It's the simplest way for us to meet again each week, in honest, helpful conversations just like this one. And if you feel the content today is truly valuable, you can also support the channel with a small contribution below. Entirely up to you. Thank you for listening, and thank you for choosing to take care of yourself.